Hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So yesterday we had got stuck up at the simulation of our a 4-bit binary adder using full adder as a component. So I did resolve this problem in this way. I'll share how I did it. So this was our test bench which we wrote, and we have initialized the signal A to 0110, that is 5 decimal, sorry 6 decimal, and the signal B to actually 10 decimal. So as per this notes which I have written, we want to actually verify the generation of carry. So if A and B are 5 and 10, then the sum will be 15. That is the largest 4-bit number, and in that case carry will not be generated. If suppose I change the second operand B from 10 to 11, then the summation would be decimal 16, which is the smallest 5-bit number. So in that case, because of the operands, a carry will be generated. And whether the carry is been considered by the system or not, we will again change the operands in that way that we will keep the operands as 5 and 11, and we will put the input carry as 1. So we should get 17. So we will see if our test bench is reflecting this thing. So 5 plus 10 plus 0 C in, 5 plus 11 plus 0 C in, and 5 plus 11 plus 1 C in. That is what we want to see in the simulation. So here I will change the operand from 6 to 5, 101. My B is 10 and C in is 0. Okay, so I will say Control S. And so what I did is yesterday is that it was showing some error down. So in such cases, what you should do is that once you have done the check syntax, then you can go here and you can say right click run with current data. So if such problem comes that because a prior process failed, so this is what you can do. You can go to the option simulate behavioral model, right click and say run with current data, and after that you can say rerun all. So what is expected from us is this thing, that the cout should be 0 and the sum vector should be 1111. Okay, so we are having this. And we can see here that 5 plus 10 is actually 15. So the sum vector is 1111 and cout is 0 here. Close this and we'll go for second case wherein we have 5 plus 11 plus 0. So we will keep this as 1011 and say Control S. Actually there is no need to do check syntax because the code hasn't been changed. Run. So what is expected is we want the cout to be 1 and the sum vector should be 4 zeros. We see here that the sum vector now has become 0 0 0 0. We can see this in the value column here. So 0 0 0 0 and cout is 1. So 1, so 0 0 0 0 with a carry 1. Now again we will close this and we will see if the system is incorporating a carry, that is 5 plus 11 plus 1. So now I will make the C in as 1, and what I'm expecting is this, that I should get the sum vector as 0 0 0 1, cout as 1, indicating that the summation is 17, that is 5 plus 11, 16 plus 1, 17. So so we see here that from the value column we are seeing that the sum vector is now 0 0 0 1. We see here, we are able to see, and the carry out is 1. Okay, so this brings an end of our discussion on 4-bit binary adder using structural modeling style and using full adder as a component. Now we are interested to go ahead with VHDL modeling, synthesis and simulation of 3-bit asynchronous up counter. So as discussed yesterday, I have pasted the same diagrams here. So our 3-bit asynchronous counter will have an entity name CNTR3 async, and it will have one clock input which will trigger the counter on negative edges. That is, we have a negative edge triggered clock, not clock is never triggered. We have a negative edge triggered 3-bit up counter, and it has two master controls, reset and preset, RST and PR, and RST is assumed to be more powerful than preset, and there is a 3-bit output queue because it's a 3-bit asynchronous counter. And we want to use a T flip-flop as a component here, and the inputs to the T flip-flop are, the first input is T, which must be tied to 1, and it has its own reset and preset denoted as R and P. The output of the T flip-flop is QT, and it is also having negative edge triggering, but the clock is CT. So R, P, T, QT and CT, they are the reset, preset, the T input, the output, and the clock input of T flip-flop, while our parent entity CNTR3 async has the inputs RST, PR, clock, and Q. Okay, so T is not as an input to the parent entity, and here we have shown the truth table of a T flip-flop. So reset and preset are active high. So when reset is 1, preset is 0, clock and T become don't cares, and the output is forced to 0. If reset is 0, preset is 1, again clock and T inputs are don't care, and output is forced to 1. When reset, preset are 0, 0, and if T is equal to 1, then whenever the falling edge comes, the output complements itself. So if it is 1, becomes 0, if it is 0, becomes 1. Similarly, if reset, preset are 0, and when the falling edge is coming, at that time if T is 0, then output doesn't change. It's a no change condition basically. Okay, and the parent entity as a combination, or as I say interconnection between 3 instances of T flip-flop are as shown. So we have 3 instances of T flip-flop denoted as T0, T1, T2, and T0 is the least significant flop, T1 is middle flop, and T2 is the MSB flop. That is why their outputs are Q2, Q1 and Q0 defined as vectors. Now here if we see the CLK input to the parent entity goes as the clock input to the LSB instance of T flip-flop. The output QT of T0 acts as a clock CT of T1. Similarly, the output QT of T1 acts as clock input of T2. And the reset and presets of all 3 instances are tied together to reset and preset of parent entity. At the same time, we have assumed 2 intermediate signals X1 and X2, which will connect the output of T0 to clock input of T1, and X2 will connect the output QT of T1 to the clock input CT of T2. And here most important thing is that the T inputs of individual instances T0, T1 and T2 must be shorted together and given to VCC. Now here there is something which I'm purposefully not writing. Now the question comes that although we have learned many examples of structural modeling style, never ever in any system, whether it was full adder or 4-bit binary adder, we never had any of the inputs connected to 1. This is the first example where we need to connect the T input of the child or the component to VCC. And can anybody suggest that how can I connect the T input of the individual instances to VCC? Okay, I repeat the question, that how can we connect the T inputs of T0, T1 and T2 to VCC? Yes, because VCC is not predefined in the language. Even if it is written, it will be a signal, but then we have to actually connect the T inputs to 1, logic 1. How can we do this? Any guesses?
Sir, using signals, we will assign Q temp as 1 and we will give it to everything. T.
Q temp as 1. Where is Q temp but? Where is qtemp?
So
I
in
want to make
architecture as well.
architecture. Okay, let us see. We will run into problems and we will solve them to learn something. Okay, so directly I go to my ISE and keeping this block diagram in mind, file, new project, and CNTR3 async is my entity name. Async is my name of entity. Control A, Control C. Next, next, finish. Design window, implementation mode, target line, right click, new source, VHDL module, paste it, reselect. Next, architecture name of parent, entity name underscore ARCH. Going back to block diagrams, RST PR CLK Q. RST PR CLK Q. Q is output, vector 3 down to 0. Finish. Okay, close the design summary, float the window. Child entity has to be created here. Okay, so what I will do is that I have not named it, so we can say that the entity name can be child, can be TFF. So TFF is the component name. Okay, so go to the declaration section and create a component. Component TFF is port. And our inputs are in the order R, P, T, CT and QT. R, reset, preset, capital T, CT. Okay, we can keep CT first. CT, can say capital CT, that is clock to the T flip-flop, and then we can keep capital T and QT. So all of them are input, so I can say standard underscore logic semicolon, and I have only one output, QT. In the last signal. So thus we have created our component or the child, that is T flip-flop, with the signals as in the block diagram. Now we won't do anything here. We will directly go and do the component instantiation and port mapping. So here, and yes, we have to define intermediate signals. So X1 and X2 have to be defined. Let us see. So signal X1 comma X2 colon signal space signal names colon data type. True. So now two steps are over. We'll go and do instantiations now. So T0, T1 and T2. The first instance is T0. We'll create that. So we can say instance name colon component name is T flip-flop port map. Okay. So here the sequence of our signals is reset, preset, clock, T and QT. Okay. So the sequence of signals are reset, preset, clock, T input and output QT. So go here So reset and preset. So it will be, so R and P of T0. So reset, preset, clock, T and QT. So R of T0 connected to RST, P of T0 connected to PR, CT connected to CLK, T connected to VCC, and QT. QT connected to X1. So R comma P, R comma P comma CLK comma VCC comma X1. So R comma P comma CLK CLK comma VCC comma X1. Okay, X1. So this is the port mapping of the first instance, Control C and Control V and Control V. Second instance is T1. Let us see the mappings. So it is again RST comma PR comma X1 comma VCC comma X2. Okay, so R comma P comma, now the clock of T1 is actually X1. So here I will have to write X1 and VCC will remain the same. And then we have X2, the output. Okay, X2. And for T2 we have again RST, PR, X2, VCC and QT, and okay, fine. So Q bracket 2. So the output of the last instance T0, T1, T2, and here it is Q2. Okay, so I think the mappings are over. Okay, now the parent entity has been defined. Now we have to define the child entity. Copy the library statements, paste them here. And here, as before, copy this, paste it here, and replace the keyword component with entity. Entity TFF is, and we can just say end entity name. Okay, everything else remains the same. So library statements and entity declaration for component is over. Now we have to go and define this thing, that is the truth table. So here again copy the architecture. We'll see TFF arch of TFF is, and here because it's a basically a T flip-flop, we have to define an intermediate signal. We can say QT temp, QT underscore temp colon standard underscore logic semicolon begin, and here we can write down process. It will be all the input signals reset, preset, comma CT, that is a clock, comma T, that's it. And here we have begin, and if reset comes, so we can say if R equal to single tick 1, then I will say qt underscore temp should be assigned single tick 0. Else if preset comes as 1, then qtemp should be assigned 1. Else if, now it is a negative edge triggered system, so we have to use if falling underscore edge of CT. Okay, CT, because our clock is not CLK, it is CT. Then we can say here, now we will say again if T equal to single tick 1, then output should complement. So qt underscore temp should be assigned not of qt underscore temp. Else will mean t equal to 0. Else qt temp is assigned qt temp. Okay. If reset comes as 1, output should be forced to 0. Else if preset comes as 1, output should be forced to 1. If none of them come, then when the falling edge comes, we check the status of T input. If T comes to be 1, then we have to complement the output, else it is no change. Now we'll start closing all the if constructs. So this end if is for this one. Then we have one more if above. We'll put one more end if for that. End if. Now all end ifs have been closed. We have to put end process here. And before we exit the architecture, we have to assign qt temp to qt. Okay. So okay, this is done now. So we can end architecture. End tff underscore arch. Okay. So think so it is over. Let us assume that everything is right, and we go here, and we see here we have not got any question marks, which indicates that although we have expressed the parent entity as an interconnection between multiple instances of component, but because we have defined a component somewhere, right or wrong we do not know, but we have defined it, so we are not getting question mark like we saw yesterday. So I will say synthesize. Yeah, so there are errors. Yeah, we see here already, according to me VCC was defined by me, so I expected VCC to come in black color, but it is not coming. That means that there is some conflict somewhere. So what we can do in this particular thing is that we can define a particular intermediate signal again here, and this signal can be say supply S. Okay, so we can define signal here. Okay, okay. Let us see if I can put one here. Let us see if we can put one here directly. Which indicates that the T inputs That is 1, 2, 3, 4. T is the fourth input of the component. In the fourth position here, I am putting a 1 and let me see if the errors are going. If they are going, then I am through. In mode formal T of T flip-flop with no default value must be associated with an actual value. In mode formal T. Okay, so it is not accepting the value T here. So what I will do, I will define one more signal here called supply, or we can say bias. Okay, we can say logic 1. Okay, control C. Let me try to replace. Okay, and I have to initialize it to 1. So what we can do, we can remove this thing, control C, control V. Okay, I have initialized logic 1 intermediate signal to 1 and I have given logic 1 here. Let us see if this thing works. Again it is not accepting. What is the solution? Who can suggest the solution for this? Yes, students, what is the solution? Any guesses?
Sir, defining that signal, is it done twice?
Where?
Sir, here only in.
Correct. Yeah, it may solve the problem, do not know. Again the same issue is coming. In mode formal T of T flip-flop with no default value must be associated with an actual value. Yes.
Sir, can we assign default value to T directly?
Pardon?
Can we assign default value to T directly?
Actually, see, one mistake which I've done is that it's a 3-bit asynchronous counter. I made it 4-bit. You see here? You did not note this mistake.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if it is 3 down to 0, I have to create one more instance, na? Anyways, let us see. Okay. There is some problem somewhere. Who can catch it?
So can we do it like uh, while doing a test bench program, we'll assign it high and using directly T there. Can we do
No.
it like that?
No. For the synthesis has to go correct. The synthesis has to go correct. There are errors in synthesis. See, we can proceed with simulation if there are warnings, but with errors, I don't think so. No, it's not possible.
No, sir, like using directly T input there rather than using logic 1 or colon 1 directly. Can
But
we
how
do
will
it
you
like
do
that?
mapping? How will you do mapping? In this particular thing, the T inputs of all the 3 instances are tied together and connected to VCC. So how do you do that? Okay. That means what we have to do, see, there is a problem here. You see here, we have done a fundamental mistake. In fact, if T flip-flops come together to make asynchronous counters, then you see here, you never raise this doubt that, sir, because there is reset and preset in the parent entity, we have corresponding R and P in child. Sir, because we have Q, one of the bits is also a part of the output of T flip-flop. Is it not? Sir, we have clock in parent entity, we have CT, right? So there is a one-to-one correspondence between the signals, is it not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Yes, sir.
reset. So for reset, RST and PR, there is RNP in the child. For CLK in parent, we have CT in the child. For Q output, we have QT in the child. But what about VCC here? What about T here? So if these three people, if three instances of this child come together, then why we forgot to put a T here? Is it not? Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then this T should be connected to VCC. Now it completes the system. Okay. So now I can write down here. Now I can write down here. This should be T. This should be T, and inside it should be something else. I will say it is T input of T flip flop. So TT will be there. So TT, TT and TT. Now we will change the code. So in the parent we have added T, component there is T, and then here I can write down T. Do you accept this thing?
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
No. Should I write T? But there has to be an intermediate signal right here.
Yes,
Yeah, it
sir.
should be connected to T only. It has to be connected to T of parent. Is it correct? Seems to be logical. Yes?
Sir, Q1 and Q0 are also left.
Pardon?
Sir, Q1 and Q0.
Yes. Q0, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, the same problem is coming. Okay, fine. So can we directly write here like this?
Sir, then X1 and X2 is.
Then X1, X2 not required. Both of them not required, right? This is also not going to work, I know. Yes, what is the way out now? Yes. Yes, any suggestions?
Sir, there are other errors also now. Can you scroll up?
Yeah, there are many in fact. So how to resolve? Where have we gone wrong?
Sir, for this, then let's use x1 and x2, and then finally assign it to q0 and q1.
Yes, that is what is to be done because I already done this modeling before. Let us first check the mapping. So RPCT for T0, it is RST. Just a minute. Actually, how you people did not note this? Why I wrote R and P here? It should be RST and PR, na? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And then after I tell, you are telling. Okay, so that is why we have to pay a lot of attention, right? So as I told you, R and P of all three instances are connected to RST and PR. That's okay, fine. Now CT, that is a clock input. So clock input first is CLK, that's fine. And second has to be, let it be X1 only. Okay, fine. First one, RST, PR, CLK, TT. No, this has gone wrong. Reset, preset, clock is CLK, then TT. So TT is connected to T. Fine. T input of the master as a parent, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, comma QT. The output will be X1. Let us see. Second, RST-PR, CT will be X1, and T input, correct? And RST-PR, clock will be X2, T, and that's what you are telling, X3, and we will assign X1, X2, X3 to Q3, Q1, Q0, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then, in fact, okay, fine. Let us see, do that. X3. And but what about assigning T to 1? Where do we write T equal to 1?
Sir, in test bench.
Not test bench. Here only you have to write. So let me say T is assigned 1. Let us see if it works. Okay, fine. And before we exit, then we have to actually write down like this. Here we can write down. Yeah, that's it. Right. So we can say Q2 is assigned X3. Q1 is assigned X2. This is what you were telling.
Yes, sir.
Let us see. Fine. So all other errors are gone. Object 3, right? T of mode in cannot be updated. You see here, what is the problem? How to remove this now? Only one small error is there. Yes. T is input, na? So how to do that? How to connect T to 1?
Intermediate signals.
How? Okay. So here, do you mean this T temp? Good. Done. Is it okay? Seems to be fine. So what
So
changes
then
we
we
made?
don't need a T, no, capital T.
Pardon?
So we don't need capital T, no, then.
Okay, let us see. We will see in the simulation. Okay, so what mistakes we had done is that we had put R and P here instead of connecting them to parent. Anyways, let us go to simulation. Write a test bench now. I want to simulate the parent. Finish. Okay, fine. Reset and preset are all zeros. Clock is 0. T is also 0. Fine. Let us simulate it. No issues. Do you need to write any process here? I don't think so, right? Yes. Do we need to write a process
No,
here?
sir.
Yeah, so initially we will just see whether the counter is incrementing itself or not, because I'm not applying reset, I'm not applying preset, and the clock is also there, the process is there. So I feel that it should be a plain counter with no effects of reset and preset. So what I will do, I will just comment this section. This is this. Let us see. Fine. So what is the output and why? Yes, you see here, it is clearly visible that my system is negative edge triggered, reset and preset are 0. So the counter should actually increment itself. So here the clock is going, but why is the counter not incrementing itself? Who can tell me if you have understood the operation? Why is counter not incrementing itself every falling edge of the clock? Why? What is the main reason? Yes, and why it is coming uninitialized? See, the first problem is that the counter's output is not 000 also. It is coming UUU uninitialized. We have solved this problem before. What is the solution to this simulation? Okay, so I have two questions for the students. First, why is output coming u, that is uninitialized, uninitialized, uninitialized? Second thing, that why it is not changing state? How can we solve these problems? Yes. What is written in truth table? Just see. See the truth table. What is happening when t equal to 0? What is happening? T equal to 0?
No change.
No change. This is what we are. You see, in our system, reset and preset are zeros. Okay, falling edge is coming, but t is also 0, so it is no change. Okay, another thing here in the simulation is it is coming uninitialized because we have not assigned an initial value as 0. Where? In the main model. So I am supposed to initialize this to 0. We will go step by step. Okay, we will do this. We will again synthesize and we will see that how every change leads to an improvisation in our simulation waveforms. So our first aim was to remove that uninitialized part. Now let us go and close this and we will re-simulate it. And we are expecting that that uninitialized thing should go away. Good, there is an improvement here. Okay, so I'll remove the clock period. Zoom. You seeing it is incrementing? Yes.
Sir, we initialized qtemp in the child entity, no?
We initialize it to?
In child entity, we initialized, no?
Yeah, because ultimately it is the, because this particular thing, na, this is actually the truth table of child, na, that is why.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, but what one thing which is strange is that the t input is 0. You see here, still the counter is incrementing itself. See here, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it not? So it is acting as it is acting as an up counter. You see here, and it is incrementing every falling edge. Dekha? Falling edge. Next falling edge. Okay, falling edge increment 1 ka 2, 2 ka 3, 3 ka 4, 4 ka 5, 5 ka 6. So it is going. Yes or no? So who can tell that why it is not getting affected when t is equal to 0 here?
So we didn't relate the t temp and this t.
T temp and t. Where?
Yeah,
Where?
it's in main program.
Sir, in port map architecture body.
Port mapping. Architecture, sorry.
Architecture of parent or child?
Parent.
Parent. So where I have to make changes? Yes.
Sir, but assignment won't be possible. If we make that t input as in out, then it might be possible.
Where? This. Yes. Here.
Sir, the in
You tell me
parent port,
line number. Chandan, tell me line number.
say 11.
11. Yeah. So what you say is in out.
In out and then assign t temp to t.
Where?
Then it might be possible.
Here. If I define t as in out, then there is no need of defining t temp at all, no?
Yes, sir. That is only.
Sir, instead of assigning 1 to t temp, assign t to t temp.
Pardon?
Sir, assign t to t temp.
Where?
Sir, line number 33.
Line number?
33. So here instead of 1, we write t.
Like this?
Sir, opposite. T temp on left side and T on right.
How you can do it? Why you need to do this?
Sir, then it will take the value of T, no, whatever we give.
Then better you initialize it here only, no? Okay. Will this not do the same thing? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, let us see now. So we have changed the code. We have to resynthesize it. See? Redeclaration of symbol ttemp. Where have we defined it again? Somewhere?
Sir, first line.
Okay. Basically, why I raise an objection? Because according to the truth table of T flip-flop, when T is 0, it should not change, but actually it is changing. That is why I raise an objection. Oh, what is this? It gave an error. Output T is never assigned. Where is output T? Oh, this is what happens when you don't pay any attention. Input T is never used. So now,
Sir, I am saying that while you are then assign T temp the value of T after begin.
here,
Yes, after begin in line 32.
so T is there, T temp is there. Okay, let's see. Okay,
Sir, now here in we need to make T1.
yeah. What you said, T1?
So we need to make T equal to 1 in test bench.
Yeah, that's what we are actually seeing whether it is following truth table. So now we are having it. You see here, no reset and preset and T equal to 0. So it is not incrementing. It is no change, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we removed the uninitialized problem by initializing this guy, this qt temp to 0. And here now because T equal to 0, so it is not incrementing. So we will close this. We'll say no. Again close this. And now in the test bench, we'll initialize T to 1, right? Yes. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is coming. Good. So now close this, close this. Yes. And sir, चालू है. Sir, lecture. Okay. So here 0 to 45 nanoseconds, there is no reset and no preset. So the counter is incrementing itself, and as soon as it receives a reset, we see that at 45 nanoseconds when reset is coming, the clock is at the rising edge. So it is asynchronous type of reset. So immediately output is becoming 0. From 45 to 75 nanoseconds, reset is remaining 1. So our counter is not incrementing itself. At 75 nanoseconds, reset is becoming 0. So it is in the upcounting mode, but then it is still waiting till falling edge to come. So as soon as after 75, the first falling edge comes at 80 nanoseconds, the counter started incrementing, goes from 0 to 1, 1 to 2. At 100 nanoseconds, it is receiving a preset equal to 1. So it is becoming 1117. So from 100 to 160 nanoseconds, as long as preset remains 1, output is remaining equal to 7. And then at 160 nanoseconds, preset is not there, reset is not there, and coincidentally it is getting a falling edge. So it is started incrementing itself. Okay. So this is how you can do the modeling of 3-bit asynchronous counter using T flip-flop as a component. Okay. So it was not easy. It was pretty tough. And I did take suggestions from students, but I have implemented. I'll show you how I implemented in a simpler way some other time. Okay. So we had some more agendas, but then we will not be able to do it today. We'll take it next class. Okay. So this is over. Anybody has any questions to ask on this? Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah.